Hello students. So in this video we shall consider the tissue system. So tissue system is classified as the epidermal tissue system, then there is ground tissue system and the vascular tissue system. So these are the three major tissue systems: epidermal, ground and vascular. The epidermal tissue system, it is composed of the epidermis, then the hairs and finally the stomata. So epidermis is the outer covering of either the stem or the leaves, right? In case of root, it is called epiblema. In case of roots, it is called epiblema. Whereas in case of stem and leaf, it is called epidermis. So epidermis is the outer covering of stem and leaves. It is composed of a single layer of parenchyma cells. So epidermis is single layer composed of parenchyma cells. Sometimes on the epidermis there is a tough or hard protective covering which is called cuticle. So cuticle is the tough covering which is present on the epidermis. So normally in monocot plants, cuticle is present and the main function of cuticle is protection. Then the hairs. So these hairs, classified as epidermal hairs, and the root hairs. Hair-like structures that are found on the epidermis of stem, right? On the epidermis of stem or on the epidermis of leaf, hair-like structures are present. For example, if you observe the leaves and stem of tomato plants, right? On the stem and leaves of tomato plants, you can observe very thin hair-like structures. They are called epidermal hairs, also called as trichomes. So trichomes are the epidermal hairs that are found on the epidermis of stem and leaves. So one common example is tomato plant. Even in sunflower plant also, epidermal hairs can be observed. Then root hairs. These are found on the epiblema of roots, right? See here, the epidermis of roots, it is called epiblema. So on the epiblema of roots, you can observe hairs. They are called root hairs. So root hairs are involved in absorption of water. So absorption of water from soil is the main function of root hairs. The function of epidermal hairs, they may act against you can say the insects, right, or other pathogens. So epidermal hairs protect the plant from parasites, harmful insects, etc. Whereas root hairs are involved in absorption of water from the soil. The next is the stomata. So on the epidermis, right, on the epidermis of leaves, there are small pores there are microscopic pores which are called stomata. So stomata are involved in transpiration, that is loss of water. So water is lost from the plants mainly through leaves. So water is lost in plants through leaves, and that process of loss of water in the form of vapor through leaves, it is called transpiration. It is called transpiration. So transpiration occurs through pores which are stomata. So we shall consider the structure of stomata. So that is the structure of a stomata. So I will label the parts here. So that is the this is the diagram of a stomata. So it is composed of parts like a pair of kidney shaped cells. So these are a pair of kidney shaped cells. They are called guard cells. Inside the guard cell, these are the chloroplasts. Between the two guard cells, there is a opening which is called stomatal pore. So water is lost from this stomatal pore during transpiration. This stomatal pore is open during daytime. It is just like a gate, or it is just like a door. So it remains open in the daytime. It is closed in the night. So transpiration occurs during daytime. Transpiration is absent in the night. Surrounding the guard cells, these are subsidiary cells, and surrounding the subsidiary cells, these are the epidermal cells, right? So that is the structure of a stomata. Then second tissue system is the ground tissue system. So ground tissue system, it is located below the epidermis. So you may consider a stem or a root. So below the epidermis, there is a region or a part which is called cortex. So ground tissue system is composed of mainly cortex. So in the anatomy of stem or root, The ground tissue system is mainly composed of cortex. Now this cortex is mainly composed of parenchyma cells. You will understand all this when we discuss the anatomy of stem, root and leaf. So in the coming videos, right, we will discuss the anatomy of root, stem and leaves. So that time all this will be still very much clear to you. You will understand this in a better way when we discuss the anatomy of stem, root and leaves. So now cortex is an important component of the ground tissue system. So cortex is composed of parenchyma cells. So you may see cortex in the stem and roots. Then mesophyll, the ground tissue of leaf. The ground tissue of leaf is called mesophyll. So this mesophyll again it lies below the epidermis. So in leaf, right, in leaf there is upper epidermis and lower epidermis. Between the upper and lower epidermis there is a part or region called mesophyll. Now this mesophyll is composed of parenchyma cells, right, which are classified into two types. So I will write it here. So the mesophyll of leaf, it is classified as, or mesophyll tissue of leaf is classified as the palisade and spongy. So we can call it as palisade parenchyma and the spongy parenchyma. So palisade cells, they are elongated. Palisade cells are elongated. Spongy cells are spherical. So this is palisade cell and this is spongy cell, right? Then next we will consider the vascular tissue system. So in vascular tissue system, first we will consider vascular bundles. So vascular bundles, these are the bundles consisting of vascular tissues. The two main vascular tissues are phloem and xylem. So phloem and xylem are vascular tissues. When these vascular tissues are present together, when phloem and xylem are present together as a single unit, then it is called vascular bundle. So vascular bundle is a bundle of vascular tissues, mainly phloem and xylem. So the types of vascular bundles. So vascular bundles are classified as open type vascular bundles. Then there is closed type vascular bundles, conjoined vascular bundles, radial vascular bundles. So first, open type. Open type vascular bundles are the vascular bundles where you find cambium. So cambium is a type of meristematic tissue. When cambium is present between phloem and xylem, then the vascular bundle is called open type. Then closed vascular bundles or closed type vascular bundles. Here cambium is absent. So between phloem and xylem, if cambium is absent, it is closed type vascular bundle. Then conjoined vascular bundles. So here the phloem and xylem, they are present in the same vascular bundle. So a single vascular bundle has both phloem and xylem. Right? So phloem and xylem, they lie in the same radius, means one below the other. On the outer side phloem, on the inner side there is xylem in the same vascular bundle. So both phloem and xylem, they lie in the same radius. They are present in the same radius in a line, phloem and below xylem. Such vascular bundles, they are called conjoined vascular bundles. Then radial vascular bundles. Radial vascular bundles are mainly found in roots. Right? In roots you find radial vascular tissues or radial vascular bundles. So here the phloem and xylem are totally separate. So phloem, a mass of phloem alternates with a mass of xylem. So phloem and xylem are totally separate. So there is one mass of phloem, then we find xylem, again phloem, again xylem. So they alternate with each other. Right? So phloem and xylem are separate and they alternate with each other. Then we can call them as radial vascular bundles. Then the next concepts here, they are protoxylem and metaxylem. So protoxylem, the first formed xylem, right? So in the roots, the first formed xylem is always called protoxylem, which is usually small. Metaxylem, the later formed means the xylem formed after protoxylem, it is called metaxylem. So this is first form, this is later formed, means formed after protoxylem. Then we call it as metaxylem, which is large. Then exarch and endarch xylem. So xylem can be classified as exarch and endarch based on the position of protoxylem. So based on the position of protoxylem, we can classify xylem as exarch and endarch. Now what is the meaning of exarch? When protoxylem faces the periphery, right? When protoxylem faces the periphery, it is called exarch. When protoxylem faces the center, right? When protoxylem faces the center, it is called endarch xylem. Again, you may feel this little tough and complicated, but when we discuss the anatomy of root, stem and leaf, everything will be very much clear to you. So don't worry. So that time again I will tell you. Okay. So endarch xylem means protoxylem faces the center. Then we call that xylem as endarch. Then protophlloem and metaphlloem. So here protophlloem means the first formed phloem. Right? The first formed phloem, it is called protophlloem. Then what is this metaphloem? The later formed phloem means the phloem that is formed after protophlloem, it is called metaphloem. So that is about the different concepts under the vascular tissue system. So I hope everything is clear to you. So watch this video carefully. Try to write down the points. Read it many times. Be familiar with all these words and terms. And when we discuss the anatomy of root, stem and leaf, that time you will understand this in a very clear way. So with this we shall stop this video and we shall meet in the next video. Thank you.